Hello, all. Man, I have a message. I do indeed. Something I've picked up on very much on the spiritual community is like what I'm finding is people get mistreated, they get mishandled, and then they get bitter and they get resentment and they get upset when it comes to the systematic abuse and the systematic ways set forth from the hierarchy. And I get it. Believe me, times a trillion here. All right. I understand. I really do. But see, for me, I've never had the desire to be my own business owner. I've never had the desire to be in the limelight. I've never had the desire to have a lot of money. I've never had the desire to have a lot of finest things. That's just never something that I've ever desired in my life. Ever. Ever have I ever yearned for that? I haven't. And honestly, I've always just wanted true peace. And I think that comes from a life of not really ever having that, to be honest with you. In my home, in my upbringing, in the chaos that surrounds us, surrounds me, surrounds us all. We all are surrounded by chaos. And so that's really all I just yearned for was peace. Peace and harmony. And by the grace of God, I have found my peace. Even in the difficult times, even in the tower moments, even through the wilderness and the burning and the betrayal and all this stuff, right? Because it was all divinely orchestrated by God for me to just see the clear picture, right? And I never have really been one to carry a victim mentality. That's a big thing that we do these days, is a victim mentality too. I feel the pains, I feel the emotions, I feel the hurt. Don't get me wrong. I do indeed. I feel it in the core, in the pit, but I just take it and I wear it. I really do. It's just been something that I've been so used to. And again, I'm not throwing shade on anything of my past or my upbringing. It is what it is. I've come to terms with it. You know what I mean? But the reality is the reality. The truth is the truth. And my past and my upbringing is a big part of why I am the way that I am. And so it came to me when it comes to 9 to 5s and spiritual purpose, this is my opinions, my thoughts. I know they're going to be unbiased. And, take away what resonates and leave the rest. I love working. I love working 9 to 5. I love working hard for my money. And I love being independent. And just because the system has won against me doesn't make me feel like I want to go against the system. It makes me feel like I want to fight the system until I find the right company that is aligned with me. Right? And God will see me through that. Not every company is corrupt. Not every official is corrupt. Not every law official is corrupt. Not every 3-letter digit is corrupt. And not every hierarchy is corrupt. Now, there are a lot out there. That goes without saying. But I have faith and hope and belief that not everybody is. And that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. Not every 9 to 5 is bondage. See, we have this classification that 9 to 5 is bondage. No, it's not. I disagree. I completely disagree. Sometimes it's discipline, structure, stewardship, training for the vision God has over your life. I mean, what is wrong with discipline and structure and routine? Man, I thrive on that. The spiritual community often glamorizes quitting the system. But if we all walked away, who would build, protect, and serve? That's the biggest thing. If we all walked away from the system and checked out and said, we're not going to do 9 to 5 and we're not going to do all this stuff and who's going to help rebuild, protect, and serve for our children? And not to mention the fact, I see so many of the spiritualists, their platforms growing and their coaching and their vision and all this growing and podcasts and all this growing, which I'm here for. I'm here for it, right? But you have to understand that it's impossible, okay, for every person on this earth, all right, that has a heartbeat to build these types of substantial platforms and make that substantial money. So you're setting them up to fail. Do you understand? Not everybody can have a podcast. Not everybody can be a phenomenal tarot card reader. Not everybody can be a mentor. Not everybody can be a coach. Not everybody can make thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. It's impossible. They're not going to allow you to do that. So it's like we have to face the reality of what's possible, right? And again, I'm here for anybody that doing whatever makes them happy, but I want to provide some insight on different things to like provide insight that there's nothing wrong with a 9-to-5. It's a matter of whether or not you're aligned with the job that you're working for. That's what matters. God's words honor diligence and work ethic. Proverbs 14:23. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. And that's the thing, is like hard work, the 9-to-5, beating the bag, right? That all means something. But mere talk just leads to poverty. And sometimes I'm just seeing a lot of talk, and a lot of the talk is just darkness. It's all negativity when it comes to some of it. I see a lot of negativity and I see a lot of darkness when it just talks about storylines and people's past and ops and enemies and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, they're all there. They all exist. We all know about it. Okay. But we have to get to a place where it's like, okay, we recognize that this is the world we live in. Okay. So what can we do to learn to live with it without focusing on it and talking about it every single day? Right? That's the way I see it. Your 9-to-5 may be very soil where God is shaping your character, shaping your gifts, and preparing you for a bigger assignment. Man, I felt that today. Every job that I've had, I build gifts from. I have so many gifts from every career field that I've worked in. Every career field, I have so many Pref-Love gifts. That's why I carry it at such a high front. That's why every season of my life has been so divinely orchestrated, because I carry so many gifts from it. I mean, even my intuition, my discernment lands on the gifts that I cultivated from the jobs that I've had. So why wouldn't I be so grateful and thankful for those jobs? Why would I run from the system? I'm here for the system. Running on God's vision isn't about rejecting work. It's about aligning your work with His will. Real changes come when you stop tearing down people for working honest jobs and instead build systems rooted in truth, justice, and integrity. That was a big thing that they talked about. I mean, even the owner of the company spoke with me today. Like, there was a meeting and everything like that. Like, that just touched my heart. But they're very evidence driven. Like, very, very documented evidence, accountability. Huge. I'm like, man, this is great. I'm here for it. I mean, it's just great. And so like, it made my heart smile. And that's why I was like, God, man, I hear you. Freedom isn't just quitting your job, but true freedom is walking in obedience with humility, consistency, and knowing God can use you in any position to elevate you. And that was the biggest thing, coming to terms with it was like, all right, Amanda, it's either you stay here, you stay misaligned, you keep killing yourself for something you're just not aligned with, and take the path less traveled, because it's going to be less traveled, all right? And you're going to get battered, bruised, and beaten, all right? So be ready, baby. Or you stay here and get battered, bruised, and beaten. For what? For what? Literally, both ways for me were the two of lesser evils. So I chose this way. Why? Because I walked in freedom this way. I wasn't free that way. And so you just got to figure out what's aligned with you. Are you working for a company that's aligned with you? And I've been beating the pavement trying to find a company that's aligned with me. And I know that I have a purpose, and I know I have the ability to convey messages, but I'm not going to keep beating the bag when it comes to TikTok banning my accounts, them censoring my crap. Like, it's just, I'm not going to keep doing it. Now, I am going to keep fighting it judicially, 100%. And when we when we let that fly, we'll let that